Good afternoon and welcome to another day of healthy eating with Shez. Today we're going to have a soup and a drink to boost your immune system. It's January and there's loads of bugs flying around out there, the cold, the flu and COVID. So let's try and help ourselves as much as we can. So the first things you're going to need is a handful of carrots. Why carrots? Because they're full of vitamins C and K1 and B6, I think it is. They also have beta-catenin, which turns into vitamin A. Next, you're going to have a fresh beetroot, good for folic acid, calcium, good source of fiber, magnesium and potassium. A red onion, a small yellow sweet pepper for garnishing, and a scallion or spring onion for garnishing. You can also use some paprika according to your taste, and some black peppers, and you're just going to need a spoonful of olive oil. Okay, so remember it's winter, we need to try and keep ourselves internally as healthy as possible, so when these bugs do come knocking on our door, at least we can help fight. So the first thing is get your carrot, take off the top and the bottom, and I use this just to skin it mildly. The reason I'm skinning it is because we're going to use, once we've taken the juice out of it to have our juice, we're going to use what's left of it to make the carrot and beetroot soup. Pop these into your blender and let's get your juice ready. Okay, so the carrots have been juiced. Now we're going to give the beetroot a good wash. If you look at them when you get them in the shop, they can look a bit manky. So we're going to give it a good wash. We're not going to waste anything. We're going to use the stems as well and the leaves. The more leaves you have, the better. So give it a good wash, a good scrub. I'm using this to give it a good scrub. Get off all of the mankiness. Don't be afraid to wash. It's better to wash everything. Good shake, nice and clean. You're going to cut off the stems. Put those aside for now. Take your knife and cut off the bottom of the beetroot and the top, and just get rid of some of this, what I call old skin. Just peel that like that. Peel it off. Cut off as much of that as possible. And then we're just going to cut that up and put that into the blender as well. So you can cut it into 4, like that, and just pop that into your blender, your juicer, and get the juice. Okay, so I've now juiced the carrot and beetroot. There it is, and we're going to pour that into a glass. Put that in the fridge with the lid on, and we'll serve that up later. So that's your carrot and beetroot juice, and we'll just put that aside for now. Cover it. This is what came out of the juicer. So it's the debris, I call it the debris, it's the rest of the carrots and the beetroot. You might think, oh, that doesn't have any goodness in, but it does. If you were to squeeze it, you'd actually still see some juice coming out. I'm just going to show you for a moment, my hands are clean. So I just did that just to show you that it's still full of goodness for the soup. In relation to this, don't throw it away. We're giving it another good wash in between every stem, and we're going to chop that up. You don't want to waste anything, so you chop that up quite fine, and that's also going to go into the mixture for the soup. If you have managed to buy some beetroot with some leaves, all the better. Okay, so I've diced up the stem of the beetroot, and I'm also just going to pop that in here. Now we're going to cut up half of a red onion. Your scallion, make sure you wash your scallion and peel off any dead skin, like this. Okay, it's deciding not to come off. Peel that off good and proper and give them a good wash. And then we're going to chop that up, as well as a sweet pepper, quite finely. Okay, so I've chopped up a little bit of the scallion, spring onion, the yellow sweet pepper, I only did a little bit because only for garnishing, and half a red onion. And you're going to put these in a tablespoonful of oil in a frying pan with the lid just to saute on a very low heat for about 5 minutes. So get your frying pan ready, and we're going to measure out a little bit of olive oil, not too much, 1 tablespoonful. Pour that straight in there. Just swirl it around a bit so it really forms a base on the frying pan. And we're going to put into the frying pan, the first thing is the onions. Just scrape the onions into the frying pan. Just so. And we're just going to saute it for about 3 minutes first. Get your lid, pop it on, low heat, 3 minutes for now. Remember, we're not frying the onions, it's on a very, very low heat. We're just trying to get them extremely soft. Okay, stir them occasionally, and then you're also going to top in to the frying pan. It's your beetroot stems, your beetroot, and your carrot. And remember, that was after juicing. According to your juice, you might find some extra long bits of carrots. You can just take those out. Okay, you want to mix that all up. And again, just leave it on a slow heat for about 5 minutes. We're not frying it, we're simply getting it nice and moist in the oil. So after another 3 or 4 minutes, you'll see it's nice and soft. Nice and soft. Remember, in here you have a tablespoon of olive oil. Move it out of my face. You have the carrots and the beetroot that was left over after the juicing, and you also have the stems, which I chopped up. To this we're going to add a cup of hot water. Mix it all in, just 1 cup, and again back on the fire for another 5 minutes on a lower heat. That's almost ready. Something you're going to need to get ready is a deeper pot, because we're going to pour that into this deeper pot. We're also going to blend up what's in there. When I say blend it up, just pump it up. So if you do have like a food blender, you're going to use something like this, and we're going to pulsate it to blend it all up and make it into a nice smooth soup. Not too smooth, you can't drink it with a straw, it's still going to have a bit of consistency and a bit thick. So that should be ready. Showing you from a distance what it looks like. Remember, there's no seasoning in there yet, because you want to bring out the taste of the carrots, which is quite sweet, bring out the taste of the beetroot and the onions. That's ready. Before I put it in the big pot, I'm just going to grate some black pepper in. So I'm just, so you can see, I'm just grating in some black pepper. Not too much, according to your taste. You might think that's a lot. Not too much. And a little bit of paprika, according to how spicy you want things. And you just stir that in. So that's the only 2 seasonings I have put in. If you want to put a pinch of salt in, you can put a pinch of salt in. If you don't want to put salt in, you don't have to put no salt in. I'm going to put that back on the fire for just 2 more minutes, steaming away, waiting for you to have your soup. Okay, so it's ready for us to put into the bigger pot, because we're going to use the food pulp and pulp it all in. So I'm literally pouring this into this pot. Okay, and the reason I'm using a deeper pot is because I don't want it to splash out on me. You can probably still see me through the steam. Okay, empty everything from the frying pan into this pot like that. And we're just going to use the food blender and pulp it up a bit. So all you're doing is pulping it into a smooth consistency. So when you have finished pulping it, you should see the consistency looks quite thick, but very, very, very soft. And in the Caribbean, as I'd say, if you wanted to taste that consistency, put a bit on your hand and just, and you can tell how seasoned it is. Remember, I haven't put any salt in. I've put a little bit of black pepper, a little bit of paprika. Some people put garlic in, and that's almost a soup ready. We're going to pour into this a glass of hot water. According to how many people you're cooking for, you might want to put a little bit extra. So I'm using a glass and a half of hot water. Give that a good mix. And we're going to bring it back to the boil for 3 minutes only. Okay, so that's almost ready. Just reminding you, whilst that is on its last 60-second countdown, it's a winter warmer because I have put a touch of paprika and black pepper in it, so it'll warm up your chest and your tummy. But remember, the goodness of carrots and the goodness of beetroots. In this season where there is so much bugs flying around, you've got your beets, which is full of folic acid, iron, vitamin A, calcium. It's a good source of fiber, magnesium and potassium, and vitamin C. You've got your carrots, which is also vitamin C. It's K1, vitamin C, vitamin B6. It's full of beta carotene, which turns into vitamin A. And having said that, the soup is ready. So I'm going to take that off the boil. It wasn't actually on the boil, it's more of a simmer. It's ready. You can see the steam, or you can see me through the steam. And the consistency of this soup is like that. Like what you'd buy in Marks and Spencer's. And we're going to spoon some of this into a bowl and ready for be prepared to eat. It looks like a tomato-based soup, but remember, it's just beets and carrots. We sauteed down with onions. And that's your winter warmer soup. Trying to show you without spilling it. Ta-da! But to top it all off, remember we had cut up some, where did I put it if I can find it? Aha, there it is. We had cut up some yellow sweet peppers. We're gonna sprinkle those on top, just for garnishing, and some scallion, or as you might call it, spring onions. So just sprinkle that around. And here you have it, your beetroot and carrot soup, garnished with yellow sweet peppers and also spring onions. They're raw, so if you don't like them raw, then don't sprinkle them on top. So as we end this video, I would just like to encourage you to stay safe. We don't really know why this vaccine, or not the vaccine, we don't really know why this COVID virus is around or what it really is, but we do know people are dying from it. We do know that it attacks your respiratory system, so we can try and strengthen ourselves as much as possible by not eating too much foods out of the tins or artificial foods. Make your own soups. Strengthen your immune system as much as you can. And we're remembering all those who have lost somebody. We're praying for all those who are struggling with their health, and stay safe. Enjoy your soup. Let me taste it in front of you, see what it tastes like. It's a bit hot. Remember, I didn't put any sugar in or any salt in, but the natural sweetness of the beets and the natural sweetness of the carrots is just bursting through. I can taste the cayenne pepper or paprika, so that gives me a bit of a kick and warms up my chest muscles, as they say. But bon appetit. Stay safe. God bless you all. Least I forget, bottoms up, that's your beetroot and carrot juice, to be had alongside your beetroot and carrot soup, garnished with yellow sweet peppers and scallion.